Hello, and I welcome you all to this awesome channel of Android development where we were building a chatting application, and this is part 6 of our chat application playlist. So till previous videos we have integrated the authentication. So this is the slide where we left in last video. As you can see, you may see the date is different in this video because as I earlier told you that video I reshooted it. So before moving ahead, I have a small request to you all. So don't forget to like the video, and also you can subscribe the channel, and here you can give me a super thanks. You can also join my channel if you want one-on-one interaction on Telegram, and you can buy the membership of my channel. Also, don't forget to save the playlist and like this video. When you save the playlist, it reaches more and more people, and this helps me getting more views and generate revenue. There is new feature on YouTube. You can hype this video, which will increase the reach of this video. And you can only hype 3 times a week. So consider hyping this video once. So now let's build the app. So open your Android Studio. So till now we have built splash screen, and user will enter the number and then he will send the OTP. So let me show you in the nav graph how the whole flow will work. So here you can see firstly splash screen, then user will enter the number and then OTP will be sent to user and he will input the OTP here. And then what after OTP, if the OTP is verified, then what we will do, we will take the user information like username and other details like picture of the user. So for this we will create a new fragment. So to add a new fragment, just click on this icon, create a new destination, blank fragment, and click on next, and name this fragment as user detail, and then click on finish. So now here you can see a new screen is generated, and just drag it and keep it after OTP fragment and make a flow from OTP to this user detail fragment, because when the OTP will be verified, then only we will go to this user detail fragment. So now let's open the XML. So go to the layout file inside the resources and open this file, fragment user details. So this is our user details, and split it. You can see this is how our UI look, and we are going to copy the UI of OTP fragment because this is where we are also accepting the details from the user. But the problem is it has a toolbar, this one. So we don't need a toolbar, so we are going to copy from login fragment. So press Ctrl A and Ctrl C, and here you can see the only thing which differentiates the both fragment is this dot login fragment. So go to here, and here you can see dot user details. So select all, paste, and we have to change this to dot user fragment, user detail, and that's it. Here we have to modify some UI like this text view. This is okay. Here we can later on accept the user DP. If this playlist get more views, then only we will do it. For now I am keeping it as it is, and then we will change this text instead of login or sign up, and this text also we will change. So firstly change the first one. So instead of login or sign up, select this text. We can say welcome to chit chat. This is our application name, and in the second text click here. So we can say enter the username, enter your username, and remove this below also. And here in this hint, remove this. We can give the name of example of username like EG, and the username whatever you want to write like ABC and etc. But I will write here username, so just remove it and write username as a hint. And also we are going to change this drawable icon, this one here. Remove this from IC underscore phone to IC underscore person. So that's all. Our work for this fragment is also done. So when the user will click on continue button, then he will go to the chat section, and we will implement it in another video. So firstly, let's complete this task. We will take the input from the user and save the details in the Firebase. And for this, we will use Firebase real-time database. Now close all these open files. Close this also, and open the user detail fragment. And ignore this file, the file which is here, because I have already worked in it. So that's why I made this file. And you don't need to worry about it. You may not see this file in your code. So let's remove this code which is already present here. So select this and remove it. Select this also, and this companion object. So this is our fragment. Firstly, we will enable the view binding here. So right here, private var late init, private late init var, and name it as binding, and right colon, and give its type. Its type will be fragment user detail binding. It is already giving me suggestions, so click on enter. So we have declared it. Now we need to initialize it inside our on create view. So remove this commented line, and right here binding is equals to fragment user binding dot inflate, and pass here layout inflator. And in this return statement, remove this whole statement, and right here binding dot root. That's it. Our view binding is successfully done, and we have to write code in between these two lines. So firstly, what we will do, we will get the user details. So right here get details and make it a function. So click alt enter and click the function, create the function, and write inside it binding dot et number. Okay, so we haven't changed the ID. So go to our user details fragment XML. Here in this, here we have given the ID as et number. So we need to change it. Right here et underscore username. So that's it. Now go back to the class user details. Here instead of et number, right here et username. So we are going to store this in a variable. So let's declare the variable first at the top. So here after this binding, right here val username, and initialize it with empty string. So when the user will click on the continue button, that time we will be fetching this text. So for this we have to create a on click listener before fetching the text. So inside the get details, here we have to write binding dot btn continue dot set on click listener, and inside this we have to cut this code and paste it here. Username is equals to paste it dot text dot toString. So here we have a username which is entered by the user, and we have stored it in username variable when the user will click on this continue button. So if you are familiar about the databases, you must be knowing that we have to initialize or declare the type of data which is we are going to save inside the database. So for now we don't have any data type to store the user details. Like we will store the user number, username and user ID in our database. So for this we will have to create a data type of our own. And in development process, the data type which we create by our own are known as models. So we need to create our own model. So let's go to the root of this project. Here click on new. Let's create a package first and name it as model. And inside this model we have to create a new. Go to Kotlin class and name it as users. So it is just a naming convention that we give the similar name whatever we are saving in the database. And Kotlin gives us a feature that if we declaring a data type of our own, so we must create a data class. So just click the down arrow and go to data class and click on enter. So this is how our data class look. And here inside this we have to pass the variables. So right here, well, firstly we will store the user ID. So write it UID and it will be of type string, and then write a comma. After string we will be saving the user number and user name. So write here well, phone number, it will be of type string also, and write comma, and again well, username, again it will be of type string. So that's it. And even if you are familiar with C programming language, then this is the structure we have made. It is similar to defining a struct. And if you are from Java background, then there we create just a normal class and then define its getter and setter and constructor also. But here Kotlin gives us benefit that we don't need to declare any getter and setter, because this data class is already create its getter and setter in the runtime. So we don't need to explicitly declare all those getter and setter or constructor. So this is the benefit with Kotlin. It reduces the boilerplate code for us. So now you might be thinking why we are saving this user ID. So let me tell you, to identify each user as a unique, we need a field that must distinguish between two users that they are different. For example, in your class, the username can be same, but your roll number is different. So here you can say phone number is also different, but we will be using user ID to distinguish between two users, and in language of database it is known as primary key. So last two fields like phone number and username we are going to get from user, but how we will get this user ID? So let's go to the utils and let's create a function where we will get the UID from the Firebase. Right here fun get user ID and write a bracket, and it will be of type string because we are storing the UID as string. So open the bracket and it will return Firebase auth dot get instance dot UID or current user, and then write here dot UID. So it will give us error and we will have to insert here two exclamatory marks to tell that it will never be null. And also you can comment the name of this operator, why we are using it in the Kotlin. I have already told you in previous video. So now we have all three: user number, user ID and username. And let's go to user detail fragment again. So after clicking on this button, firstly we have username. We don't have user number in this fragment, so let's declare it here, where user number and initialize it with empty string, and where user ID and again initialize it with null or empty string. So how we are going to get these two details, user number and user ID, in this fragment? So for this we will use bundle as we have used it earlier also. Inside OTP fragment, you can see we have used here a bundle where we were passing the number from login fragment to OTP fragment, and now here we will do the same. So scroll up. So you might see some additional code here. You have to ignore this code. I will tell you which line you have to ignore. And as I told you, this is the result of the video which got deleted. But later on, I will add all these lines in your code also. So we have already worked with OTP verify this function, verify OTP function. And here we were moving to main activity after verifying the OTP. And in your code, you might be seeing only the toast code, the first line only. So we have to remove this 2 lines. And also ignore this progress bar line, the line after this toast. Just write here, well, we have to create a bundle. So write bundle is equals to bundle, and after this we will have to put some information in it. So write bundle dot put string. Firstly we will pass the user number, write here number, comma, and write the variable name number, which is already stored in this fragment. In next line we will use the navigation. So write here find nav controller dot navigate, and write here r.id action. We will navigate from OTP fragment to user detail fragment. So here this option, click enter, and we also have to pass this bundle which we have created. So write comma and write the bundle. That's it. Now we have to catch this bundle in our user detail fragment. So now let's move to user detail fragment. So go to user detail, and inside this user details function we will just initialize the bundle first. Here we will get it using argument. Right here bundle is equals to argument, and this is how we catch the bundle from other fragment to this fragment. So now we need to initialize the user number variable which we have created above using this bundle. So just write user number is equals to bundle dot get string, and inside the string pass the key which we have passed there, number dot to string, and here it will give us error. Again we will use 2 exclamatory marks. So that's it. Now we will get the user ID. We will get it from the user utils we have created. So user ID is equals to utils dot get user ID. So now we have all 3 details of the user in this fragment. So now what we can do, we can simply save these details in our Firebase. So open your Firebase and go to build and click on real-time database, this one, and then it is taking some time to open, and then click on create database. Again it will take some time to create the database for you. Here select is as it is, click on next. In the logged mode, click on next. So okay, our real-time database is created, and you will see this type of interface here, and this is the root of our database which is initialized with null. So now go to Android Studio again and go to utils. Okay, so let's go to the left side menu bar, click on tools, Firebase, and scroll here down, click on real-time database, get started with real-time database, and click on this add real-time database SDK to your app and accept the changes. This will add a dependency, so just minimize it, and you can see it in your build.gradle. here this line, and you have to ignore the above two lines because those are not used in our project, but I have added them. So our Gradle build is completed. You can close this now. And now go to the user detail, and after this username we have to initialize the Firebase database first. So write Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference dot, and inside the reference we have to firstly set the path. So write here all users without space, and then after the bracket write dot, and we will make the child of this all user folder. Write here child, and the child name will be users, and then write here dot, and we will write the child. Inside this child we have to pass the key for which we will store the user, and it must be the unique key. So for this purpose we have saved the user ID. That's why we stored the user ID. So write here user ID dot, after the bracket write here dot. Now write set value. For this child we will set the value of the user. For this we have to save the user inside a variable first. We have all the user details, but we haven't saved it inside a variable. So let's do it here. So press enter. After the username we will store all those details inside this type of variable. So after the username write here val user equals to user. This is the constructor of user data class which we have created, and here firstly import it, import class users. Now here we have to pass this value in the constructor because it is a data class. I have already told you it will create the constructor for us. So for this firstly we need to pass the user ID, not username. Firstly we have to pass the user ID, you can see in this. So before username just write user ID comma user number, and then username. So that's it, our user variable is created. Now we can directly store this variable in our Firebase. So inside this set value we have to write the user variable which we have recently created. But we forgot one thing, that what if the username didn't write any name in the username and then clicked on the button? So what will happen, the null username will be saved in the database, but we don't want this. For this we will use a check. So write here if username dot length is equals to 0, which means the user haven't written anything in the edit text. Then what we will do, we will show an error. So write here binding dot edit username, binding dot et username dot error equals to, and inside the string write here username cannot be empty. So that's it. And inside the else condition, if the username is not null, so what we will do, we will just cut this code, not this one, cut this code and paste it inside the else condition. So after taking details from the user and saving it to the Firebase, what we will do, we will go to the new activity. So write here start activity, create an intent and pass here required context, comma, and then write here main activity. Write here main activity because we will go to the main activity after saving the user, and write double colon and then class dot java. And then what we will do, we will finish all previous activities which we have done. So write here required activity dot finish affinity. This will close all those activity like auth activity which was opened. and then we will go to the main activity directly. So now that's it. So there is still a small problem in our code. So firstly, we have to go to the OTP fragment and scroll down. So inside the get user number, we are getting just the user number, but we have to also write the country code. So write it as this. I have written here. Write inside double inverted comma +91 space dollar symbol, then write number. Now let's run the app. Okay, so before running the app, let's go to the Firebase. Inside the authentication, we have one user currently. So firstly, let's delete this account and click on delete because we will log in again. So now let's go back to the Android Studio, and now we can again run this app. So before running this app, I have a small request to you all. So don't forget to like the video, and also you can subscribe the channel, and here you can give me a super thanks. You can also join my channel if you want one-on-one interaction on Telegram, and you can buy the membership of my channel. Also, don't forget to save the playlist and like this video. When you save the playlist, it reaches more and more people, and this helps me getting more views and generate revenue. There is new feature on YouTube. You can hype this video, which will increase the reach of this video. And you can only hype 3 times a week. So consider hyping this video once. So now let's run the app. So our app has installed in our device. Firstly, we will see the splash screen. Then this, we have to enter the user number. So enter 10 times 9 and then click on continue. It is sending the OTP. Firstly, it will show OTP sent. Then only we will enter the OTP. It is 6 times 9 and then click on continue. It is verifying the OTP. Login failed and then login successful. So now we have to enter the username here. Okay, so our keyboard is showing only numbers because we have to change its input type. So let's enter any random number. Click on continue. So we are going to our main screen. So our app is working fine. So let's check the backend. So if we open the Firebase, click on refresh. Here you can see, we can see a new user. And if we go to our real-time database, so here we don't have any user. So let's cut this. We don't have any user. So let's refresh this page. We still don't have any user. So this is because we have to modify the rules. So in the real-time database only, go to the rules section here, because we have to modify this read and write permission to true. So write here true, and also this one as true, and then click on publish. This will change the setting of our database. And also we have to do one work. So inside our Android Studio, inside the user details fragment XML here, in this edit text, change this input type from number to text. So right here text. So that's it. Now we can run this app again. So app has run in the device. Firstly splash screen. Then again we have to enter the user detail. But we need to correct this because we don't want to enter the user details again and again whenever we log in. So for this we will write the code later. Firstly let's check the functionality which we have corrected. So after entering the number, click on continue. It will send the OTP. So then enter the OTP. It's 6 times 9 and click on continue. And then now here you can see we can enter the username in text format. So let me write just my name, Pawan Singh, and click on continue. Here now you can see we went to the main screen. So now let's check the Firebase. So you can see here user details are saved. Firstly phone number, then user ID, and then username. The username I have entered. So our database and app is working fine. Okay, so our database is working fine, but still we have to implement one more feature. So whenever we run the app in our device, it will again ask for the login, and even if we have logged in earlier, it will again ask for the login. So we need to change this. We want the user to stay logged in the device or in the app until and unless he delete the app. So for this, open the Android Studio, and firstly inside the Android Studio you can see as we have so many folders. So firstly let's organize it. So in your root folder, firstly we will organize those activities and then we will organize the fragments. So inside the root folder, click on new and then create a package, this one, and name this package as activities and enter. So firstly just drag this auth activity inside the activities and click on refactor, and the refactor will change the name from each and every folder, so we don't need to worry about it. And then again we need to drag this main activity to these activities, then again click enter. So we have organized the activity folders. So now here you can see we have all activities inside this activity folder. So now we need to create a new folder. So create a new package and name it as fragment. Sorry, make f small. So right here fragments. And then we have to just drag and drop all the fragments inside the fragment package. Also OTP fragment. Click enter. And this space fragment also. Drag and drop. Enter. Then this user detail fragment also. Drag and drop. Enter. Now you can see how organized our activities and fragments are looking. You can see all activities inside activities package, all fragments inside this fragment package, and models and view model inside these packages. And we can minimize this. So okay, now what we have to do, we have to implement the permanent access feature. For this we will have to work with splash screen and then with view model. So firstly let's open the splash screen. So here you know how our flow is going. So inside the auth activity we are having this splash fragment. So firstly what is splash fragment is doing, after 2.5 seconds it is running this navigate function where we are going from splash screen to login fragment. But before this we need to set a check. If the user is already logged in, then we will send user to the main activity, but if he is not logged in, then only we will go to the login page. So for this we will have to maintain a variable whether the user is already logged in inside the app or not, and for this we will do it inside our auth view model. So now let's go to the auth view model. Here scroll up, let's create variables. Firstly we will create two variables. Again we will follow the view model approach. Right here private val is current user and is equals to mutable state flow. Again it will be of type boolean because it will tell whether the user is logged in or not, and its initial value will be false. And now we will expose it to outside entity. So right here val is current user is equals to, so it is giving error because we have already written is current user name. So just write underscore in previous is current user variable. So that's it. And in the next variable is current user is equals to underscore is current user. So that's it. Now we have to initialize it true when the user is already logged in. So what we will do, we will initialize it inside a init scope. So you must be knowing what is init scope. It is already a basic concept of Kotlin. So how we are going to initialize it? Inside the utils, you see we have this user ID. We can use it also, but we will use this above function, get Firebase auth instance. If the user exists already, then it will be not null, and else if the user does not exist, so it will be null always. So we will use this. So go to auth view model. So here write utils dot get Firebase auth instance and dot current user, and we will use the let scope. So let me tell you about let scope. So if this condition is true or this will return something, then only the let scope will run. So right here let. So inside the scope, what we will do, we will write underscore. So just press the tab because it shows us the right thing. So firstly, let's give a question mark to current user. So okay, it is telling that it can be null also, and remove this. So now let me explain you what is happening here. So firstly, we are calling the get Firebase auth instance. It will bring us the current user ID, and it can be null and it can be non-null also. So the let function will run only if it is not null. So if it is null, the let function will not run. So if it is not null, then the current user dot value, which we have created a variable here, it will become true. So as a result, the above variable will get changed to true, and then we will use this variable inside our splash screen to control the flow of the navigation. So let's go to splash fragment. So we need to collect the mutable flow. For this, we will use a suspend scope, and we will use lifecycle scope dot launch, and then inside this we will write the code. Sorry, it's not apply, it is launch. So firstly, we need to get the instance of auth view model. So for this, we will initialize it at the top. So right here, private val view model, and then it will be of type auth view model by view model, give view models constructor. Make sure you call view models and just script 2 brackets and then import it. So now we can use this view model in our lifecycle scope here, right? View model dot is signed in or is current user, sorry, dot collect. We will collect this as a flow. So give it a bracket if it, which means if the user exists already. So what we will do, we will navigate from splash screen to another activity, that is main activity. So right here, start activity, and we will create an intent, and it is giving me a correct suggestion, so I will just press tab. So intent require context comma main activity class.java, and import these things. And now after moving to the another activity, we will have to finish the previous activity. So right here, require activity dot finish affinity. But what if our is current user variable value is false? So that time we will go with the normal flow, that is the from splash screen to login fragment. So after the if statement, we need an else statement. So right here else and give a bracket and cut this flow, cut this and paste it inside the else statement. So that's it. Our work is done. Let me remove the extra space. So our work is done. Now we can run the app. So our app has run. So let me quickly do all the process. So let's click on continue. So we have reached to our main screen. So now let me close the app, and again when I open the app, display screen, then we move directly to the main screen. So our code is working fine and we have implemented the feature also. So thank you for watching the video. Please consider subscribing the channel. Thank you.